And we are back, my friends, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back, and it was like we never left. Never left
Bro,
this.
you came in strong then, bro.
Yeah, I felt that rhythm just coming deep, you know?
Have you ever tried rapping?
Pardon me?
Have you ever tried to rap? Like, I'm trying to rap now. That's my thing.
I have not heard you rap before. Like, in terms of, like, that's my thing now. Like, you'd assume that you're doing, like, the 8 Mile thing where you're writing lyrics on a piece of paper and, you know, everywhere you go. And you come out of nowhere and you say, I've been trying to rap now. Like, I'm rapping. That's my intensity.
Have you ever heard this guy called Guru Rap? He's from this rap kind of duo called Gangstar.
No.
And there's a song called Above the Clouds.
That's
and
a good song.
when that beat comes on, I'm like, literally, I could rap. I'm like, I could hit the note. Like, he inspires me to rap, bro. Guru. Yeah. I reckon he's one of the best ever. I reckon maybe for me right now, my favorite.
Okay, so you got into this song just recently, and what, it's blown your mind?
And you showed it to me, bro, because you put on Entourage, that episode, and then that's the song that played at the end of the episode. And I was like, that was it. Like, I was in love with this song. And then I became in love with this MC.
Why was Entourage so good at picking really good exit music?
Who was that guy? He was a raise, bro.
But who even said, guys, we're going to blow everyone's mind here. End credits, mind-blowingly good music.
Let the chain hang low, let it bow. You know
Yeah,
at the end when he punches him, bro?
Yeah.
That was a song.
That was a song.
That song was as important as the episode. Did anyone know that episode?
To the floor.
Is that when, what's his name, Drama knocked that guy out? Just went up and knocked out that Seth Green guy?
Seth Green. That was when I didn't like. That was, remember that season where he shaved his head?
Yeah, he had a freaking existential dilemma, bro.
Sasha Grey.
Oh my god.
Sasha Grey.
Oh my god. It blew my mind as a kid. I'm like, what? How is that world crossing over right now?
Yeah, dude, they crossed over good, man. She was iconic for that crossover.
Fuck, bro.
She's nearly as big as Mia Khalifa. She was mind blowing. She was a mind blowing individual.
She was out of control, bro.
She was a nut job. She was a nut job. I remember it's like, you did that? What the fuck? You did that?
Oh my god, bro. That's so funny, man. The crossovers, bro.
Do you reckon that's like the pinnacle of like selling your soul kind of thing? Because you can't escape how you come up. You can't escape how the world knows you for your come up, you know? And it's just like, yep, you got to deal with that. That's your identity. You're never going to escape that forever.
Do they care, bro? They're famous. They got their money. Is it spiritually devoid, or did they just do what they had to do according to their own blueprint? I don't know, bro.
Would you do it?
That wasn't my blueprint, bro. Like, you know, but wasn't Mary Magdalene a prostitute?
She was a prostitute.
Right, but she was a holy woman.
Yeah, she was a holy woman.
So Mary Magdalene being holy and a prostitute, maybe she was just in tune with the karmic energy of the Shakti, bro, the sexual energy,
No
bro.
one talks about how good of a prostitute. No one goes, she was the best of the town or something. And there's never a clinical breakdown of just like... She could have been like Marilyn Monroe of the town. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I'm talking on a different level. I'm talking tantric, energetic, sexual mastery, alchemy.
So she mastered the tantric arts and she rose to Christ level female form.
Bro, she could have been a high priestess of a cult that knew how to, and a cult in a good way, like maybe you could call it like a council. But she rose. I'm trying to always be politically correct, bro, because like I'm not trying to say a cult in a bad way. I'm trying to say like these ancient priestesses had these like these, you know, congregations or something.
Yeah, it's wild that like Meryl Magdalene. What's her name?
Which one are you saying? Mary Magdalene?
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Is it more like iconic, like widespread, like talked about more? Like you'd think women would be like just like wearing chains of Mary Magdalene and be like, man, this is my lifestyle. It's how I rock. I've got my turnaround coming.
Maybe
you know
some do, bro. I don't know. Maybe there's this new feminine coming out. Like, have you ever seen those new kind of feminine, like Aubrey Marcus? Kind of, he's got this kind of partnership going on, like very ultra, like new feminine, new masculine. I don't know, bro.
But isn't it odd that God's like, yeah, we got to throw in a prostitute in this story here. This is the best plot thickening that you could get. You know, who? It's like where we just talked about Entourage, the end credits. It's like, who are we going to throw in this? You got Seth Green with the punch out, and there's always something mind blowing. He's like, dude. Mic drop, prostitute. Like, we thought we forgot about you, we didn't.
What if she wasn't actually a prostitute? What if she was just a high priestess of sexual, like she was the best at an orgasm? She could get you to the highest orgasm, like you became enlightened. Imagine that, bro.
Because, you know, you got to attribute Christianity, you know, such a fast-growing religion. You know, I think it was the fastest-growing religion known at the time because it rose from like 6 million to like 60 million in like the Catholic, you know.
Why was that? What was the reason for that growth?
But do you reckon that it's like, the story had like her in it, and everyone's like got a little bit like, this is sick. I fucking vibe it. This is mad. Like,
I don't know what converted people to Christianity. What was the conversion reason?
maybe sex sells, bro. I don't know. Like, you know, like imagine she wasn't in it. Would it be as good of a story in a way? You'd just be like, okay, this guy was really good, so and so on, and then it's like,
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
like, it has a bit of an edge to it. The story has a bit of like God knew.
It's even
like,
more perfect
he's like,
of it. Yeah,
sex sells, guys. I gotta, you know, we're gonna spread this shit worldwide. Like, you know,
That's
this is like a
hilarious.
podcast. God's like a podcaster. He's like, bro, we're gonna spread this worldwide. We're gonna throw this,
bro.
Tate,
I
this
want this
bait,
to
clickbait.
blow up, bro. Blow up this religion, bro.
Boom.
Christianity, man.
It's like clickbait. It's like, you know, we just need that bite, like that thumbnail. You know, we need that thumbnail.
Bro, do you know when Kanye went full Christian, but then all the Christians turned against him? Like, what was that about, bro? Why did what is Kanye a real Christian?
When did he get rejected by the Christians?
I don't remember he says that, like in one of the I think in his album Jesus is King, he's like got rejected by the Christians or something like that. They'd be the first ones to judge me, you know. Something about that. There's a whole bar about that.
He could be making up enemies. He could just be like, "Yo, Christians after me." It's like, bro, no one's talking to you, bro. Everyone's trying to live their lives, man. Like trying to live in a.
That's the story I don't want. I want to believe like he's like a saint, bro. Like he's like a modern day saint, and he's got like his clothes will have like relic like powers one day.
I reckon God would be like, "Yeah, it's cool, man," but like, you know, just you know what, Christ-like, or just like martyrdom, or just saint-like. I don't know. It's tough. He's a tough saint figure. Like, have you ever watched Dogma? Have you watched Dogma?
He's a dark saint, bro.
Have you ever watched Dogma?
Yeah.
Chris Rock. It's like that's Kanye West of like what we're trying to say is like Chris Rock character is like a Kanye West character in real life. You know, like.
And I think like
one of the apostles, man. No one talks about me. One of the apostles, man.
I know.
It's like one of the apostles. That's sick.
I remember that moment, bro.
Yeah.
As a kid, that movie confused me, bro, because it was about God and angels.
Not talk about, it's just talk about God. You know, like in terms of like make jokes about God. I remember
you weren't allowed to make jokes about God.
South Park was bad for that too, but yeah.
And I remember Dad saying like, "You never make fun of God because," and then I'm like, bro, I think God has a sense of humor.
I learned a lot from that movie, religious-wise. Like that, it was actually a smart religious movie. You know, like the different what are choirs of angels? I never knew that.
Yeah, there was
I never knew there was fucking different choirs of angels. I didn't know that. You know, that really blew my mind a bit. You know, I had to really think and learn a lot more. I didn't realize it was like there was dimensions to Christianity. I didn't know. There was like
that tripped me out as well.
You know,
when you start learning about like the hierarchy of angels and the legions and the archangels, and then there's like this angel called Uriel or Oriel that's guarding the gate to the Garden of Eden. So Uriel stands at the gate, and it's a cherubim or something. There's this whole like
cherubim,
cherubim, and you know, I had this whole idea of like basically the ego is the cherubim, but it's also the Garden of Eden. So the ego plays all of this in your mind as like kind of a reflection.
Yeah.
And to slay the cherubim is to slay the ego, and then you kind of bring in like the Indian Vedantic train of thought, like, you know, how do you transcend or slay the ego? And it's actually in Christian theology, it's the cherubim, but it's the whole infrastructure of that story. Is the cherubims the one with the eyes that are everywhere, or is that a different choir of angels? I don't know.
So I remember that was that one, the hectic one. It was like all eyes, and it was like Mordor style, like it's just like hectic. It's just got one eye, and it's got the rings around it are the eyes.
I think it's the one with the lion. It has lion and something else. It's got lion. It's got a few different animal features.
That angel had no penis. I remember that blew my mind. Remember, he's like, "I got no penis." Like in
Dogma. Yeah.
And that made me think as well. I had to learn so much. I watch it now as an adult. I go, "This is very intelligent."
I gotta watch it, bro.
What is it? There's a law in the Bible of like religious dogma. If it's true in the churches or something, I think it's more Catholic than it's true in heaven or something. There's like and he's like, well, one of the priests is saying that you're all forgiven for your sins if you enter in the church. And it's like this religious like marketing scheme. And it's like,
oh my God, it's hilarious.
And it's it's like, man, this is like creates religious dogma because like whatever the Pope says or whatever the bishop says, like is an act of God or something. And these angels obviously trying to get back in. And I just go, that is interesting if that's true. If there is dogma, if there is such a thing as dogma.
Bro, it's so much going on. I think it's like, are we spiritually getting the right information either through the church or through influencers or like who's spitting the truth or who's telling the truth today when it comes to, because God transcends religion, God transcends you know, all practices and approaches and traditions. So like, you know, I think the truth is so important today, but I don't know if everyone has a discernment to figure out who's telling it today about God, about Jesus, about Buddha, about anyone, you know. Who's telling the truth?
Well, yeah, dude. Like, man, I don't know how to take it sometimes because you know, I kind of sit there and go, if you're not telling me the absolute truth, then man, like now's the time to like go towards it because like we're all dying. I don't know. I'm a bit pessimistic. So my genetic testing came back. I'm really pessimistic. So like, it has to strike a chord with me. If you're talking about the population halving in 150 years, and then you're telling me
what is that about?
Well, dude, you can't tell me like it's worth the fight on Earth and so on. But you're not telling people to go procreate or something. Then I'll be like, well, that's not the ultimate truth here because man, we're halving population in 150 years. So you got to tell me populate and then also encapsulate the fight. You know, because you got to have fun to populate. You can't have fun. You can't have not fun all the time because then you won't populate.
Wait, I want to catch up with you here. So, what is going on with the population issues? Like, what is the big thing going on there?
Well, so someone said that women, through knowledge, have gone more left, let's say politically left, and men have gone more politically right. And so there's actually like an indifference there between the two genders.
What, to have a relationship, have kids, and
yeah, like dude, girls got really educated, men got really educated. We formed a voice, a uniting voice of masculinity, a uniting voice of femininity, and the feminine leans left, the masculine leans right, and there's a disparity between connections between men and women now. So now we're like, it's estimated that we're going to halve population. So
like, okay, someone like me in a relationship, happy relationship, really well balanced and evolving, you know, spiritually as well. Am I meant to have like 6 kids? Because obviously if everyone's not doing the work, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to have 6.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like 3xing my contribution with my wife.
10x
right?
that shit.
Right. Yeah. So where is the incentive for people like me then to populate more? Because I want to have healthy, big families.
Well, then you go, okay, well, who's aligned to not make that work, you know, make it financially harder for families, you know, and then also restricting social fun because you don't want to have babies if you're not having fun, right? So if they restrict your fun and you're always in turmoil and other people are having more fun because they've got an easier path forward to assistance, then obviously you're going to have a really tough time wanting to do that or even being able to do that, you know, at all, like safely, you know? So you go, maybe there's a bit of political play there. Maybe there's a vested interest, you know, cheaper workforces.
Who wins if we population halve? Like who's getting more control with less population?
I just think people haven't really thought it all through. Like the people that have like, you know, we're a developed nation now. We're very intelligent. Probably previously we're all very dumb, very emotionally driven. Maybe probably the horrors of the world were run by us. You know, maybe, you know, they started formulating plans to like make this happen because they were bitter about who we used to be as like a people or a race or a generation. You know, they haven't seen forward in the future and seen that we're good. You know, maybe we only become good because of all these, you know, factors. You know, I don't know how someone would want a half population. I like women. I like, you know, people being around. I'd hate to be in a room by myself. So I just don't know what the driving factors of anybody that would enjoy. But then, how many people do you talk to every day and they say, we will make sure that you procreate, that we will make an environment where you procreate happily. Procreation is a bit of a taboo, evil thing actually now, in a weird way.
Do you know what my experience is like when I talk to people, especially men? We want to have more kids, but it's too expensive. It's high risk. You know, like you want to, you know, obviously supply them with the best possible opportunities as possible, you know, that you can, and that involves a financial investment in most cases. But like, I think there is, you know, this one amongst men to have a big family, but the economic practicalities for most people is just overwhelming, and people can't see a way around it to have more than 1 or 2. Yeah, and I'm talking about wealthy people who are wealthy by, you know, anyone's standards, are still saying to give them the lifestyle that I want to give them, you know, even to have more than 2 is, you know, is not feasible.
Yeah, like, and then you have people like Andrew Tate, for example. Is he giving amazing relationship advice that works en masse? Because look, he might be saying individually for a minute amount of people that are successful techniques to attract women, have them in your life, and so on and so on. But if it isn't educational where en masse it is producible, then that actually is leading to the detriment of the you know, procreation rate as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So only like a fine minor people can use this game.
So all women want now is a rich man who knows who he is and like is masculine and can support them. Like, what does a woman want these days? Like, what is Andrew Tate teaching you to become to attract more women or to have women in your life?
Essentially becoming so self-sufficient that, you know, on your own, standing still, women will be attracted to you.
Okay.
It takes a lot of work, effort, you know, you got to really put in a lot of time and effort into that, you know. So how many people can really achieve that? Well, if it isn't en masse, then it's like restricting the blood flow, you know. Don't forget how ignorant, you know, the generations of women used to be. They used to just fall in love with their local hero, you know. So whatever he was doing was cool. So you had different trends, you had different things that were, you know, different cultures used to, you know, trade shells as currency, you know. And then you got this one guy saying, well, no, money is the best, not shells. Well, if all the world is now using gold or money, then only the people that have it can use it successfully. So your shells mean shit, you know. So that's what's going to happen. It's like saying there's a new currency of what's idealistic. Only a finite amount of people can use it, and so women are just holding off, and no one's having babies because of it, because it's actually very hard to achieve.
Right, so does AI come in here and save the day here? Like, is AI the way to get men and women who want to have kids and want a family to connect in those relationships that are numerologically and astrologically aligned for them?
I would say AI will create a new logic thread that is as appealing as what like you'd be considering Andrew Tate being, right? So you watch a TV show, let's say you're just watching Andrew Tate, you're like, this is the best human out there that's articulating this stuff, right? So you find that very attractive, you listen to his life lessons, whatever, but then an AI produces its own content that is as logical, appealing, and a different way of life than that. And then you'd be like, okay, well, I don't listen to that, you know, propaganda or like that influence. Well, then you start like, getting turned on by regular things, you know, because you wouldn't have that brainwashing going on in your mind, that language set. So it could be like a very warm kind of like nourishment of like new ideas and you know, things like that. So that's my hope and dream, is that, you know, that happens. So what do you think?
Okay, this is my thinking. I think you got to get your body healthy in order to have a normal sexual relationship with the opposite sex, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But generally, like when we're talking about population, we're talking about how do men and women connect in a way that they want to have kids. So your physical body has to be healthy. So if your body's not healthy, you're not going to be able to, number one, feel those natural instincts to be with a woman and to have relationships that lead to children, you know. I think it's so important that people are thinking about their water, their food, their endocrine system, how their hormones are interacting with the products they're using and their environments. And, you know, it's a deep rabbit hole, but if you can cleanse your physical body, I think men and women will naturally just be like, this is the best thing ever to like connect and then, you know, have these beautiful moments of intimacy. And that leads to kids who bring joy to our lives. Like, the body needs to be healed first, because, and you know what, that does involve healing the mind to an extent, but you can use the body to heal the mind because you kind of create a physical practice or ritual.
But would you say the whole world, because now we're talking about you need to have 3 kids, so 2 to take care of the parents, 1 to add on an additional person, you know, let's say to take
to repopulate. That's repopulate, yeah.
Is it a broad stroke where anyone that hears that, because don't forget, it's not you that can action it, it's going to be an individual, so you're going to give them this tool called just do it, go do these things, is en masse them going to be able to do it?
Yes. Of course. You can control the food you eat, the water you drink, and the things you put in your body.
You can, but en masse, would anyone be able to do that? Like we're talking upon themselves, a time out of their day.
Do you want to have a good life and have like fulfillment and happiness, or do you want to run around on the dopamine roller coaster and hope that, you know, the system gives you permission to live your life? You know, like, you've got to choose. That's your choice. Do you wake up and think about, how do I improve my overall levels of happiness? And that's a broad metric, happiness. Like, we're measuring so much, but it's very hard to measure contentment and happiness. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what people should be striving for. And I think that the way is to start with your diet and start with your sleep and start with the low cost things to look at.
No, it's an interesting point. You know, from the standpoint of what I wonder what the statistics of people that don't do it versus the people that do it, and how overwhelming it would be on either side, you know. That for me would be an interesting point, because let's say the majority of people aren't doing it. Well, it's a hard task to start. So it's like, okay, well, how do you create, that's true, a logic strand for the people that are doing it, but what would be the opposite? Because it's always on the spectrum, what would be the opposite logic that could make them procreate as well? So having another logic stream for the people that just don't pick up on that logic stream, on the exact opposite, adverse version, what could they do to then get laid and have babies and feel comfortable? Because they're going to die. They might die miserably. They might die lazily. However they die, but they still got to procreate as well. So we've got to create a new procreation program, even for the people that don't do that. You know, that sit at home, don't move. What is it? You got a prostitution, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's got to be something where a woman just voluntarily just like gives themselves even to those men. You know?
Well, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe an AI matchmaker will bring those people into harmony in these relationships and like start connecting the right people. Because if you're not connecting with the right people, then you're not really learning about what is important for you in a relationship. So you gotta start meeting and greeting, and people call it dating. I think dating, and but really it's about finding what you want through the contrast of different relationships, because you're not going to get your queen straight away generally, like you might, or king straight away generally, but you might have to put in the reps and figure out this is actually what's going to be what I want in the future.
It's like Democrat and Republic, they're going to have different ideologies, and you need both parties to succeed at the same time. That's what procreation, like to increase continuously. That's what we're going to try to create and do. I think it's hardwired in. God knows us so well that He's already created it in the system, where women actually they did testing on this. So this is I'm just going to paraphrase this. They did testing where they put receptors on the mind and the genitals, and they showed pictures to women and men. And now men, when they were turned on by something, let's say heterosexual kissing, sex scenes, things like that, they knew they were turned on. They would press the button, and they were always accurate. Okay.
Yeah.
Then they had women, and they showed pictures of animals having sex, heterosexual kissing, people eating fruit, and what it found was that women mentally say, I'm not turned on, and they click only when they think they're turned on, but their genitals actually show that they're turned on at times, like at times where people are eating fruit, for example, and the women get turned on because of that. So there is a malleability with the female perception of what's attractive or what turns them on, and that's how in bad decision-making nights, women have sex with men that equate to could potentially have babies, and so they can adapt and make mistakes technically, and just go for some gross dude that usually wouldn't turn them on. It's because they're a victim to their own genital attraction. So that's pretty cool for us nerds out there. We're like, yeah, fucking sick, man. I love that shit. How good's God? He fucking knows me so well. Anime. There are girls that say I like gross men. There are girls that say I like gross men. So
literally, my wife sometimes says I traditionally go for ugly men, but ugly but interesting men, and you're the first beautiful man. So I take the compliment, obviously.
Is that logic? I'll never admit that to anybody. It's like me saying, I'll go for really ugly women. I go for ugly women, and I'm a victim to it. The whole prospect of a man saying that would be, I'm a victim to the fact that I get these ugly women, and I love it. I deep down love it, but I fucking,
Maybe these, think about how many ugly dudes traditionally, or even in pop culture, get really hot girls. Leonardo DiCaprio gets hot girls, but he's not ugly, for example. But that happens even with ugly people, like Post Malone or something. Sorry, Post Malone. I don't think you're ugly, but you know what I mean. You're not sexy, bro. You're not David Beckham. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and that's it, man. Some girl out there is definitely digging that, bro. That's why
the Post Malones.
Yeah,
and Ricky Rose. Someone loves Ricky Rose, bro.
I used to hate when women in high school would show me pictures of the girls that they liked, the celebrities, and they were so far-fetched, just what the fuck? Some fucking country singer or something. I don't know, something just bizarre, and you'd be like, oh my god.
Do you know this idea of a hall pass? Do you know people legit will tell their partner or their wife, I have a hall pass, and this is the person. And they know me. I said, I haven't got one. I haven't got one on the top of my mind. But then she said, oh yeah, Drake. And it literally tripped me out. Man, Drake's ugly, bro. Drake is ugly, but she goes for ugly men, so it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But he's ugly.
Yeah, you couldn't pass on Drake, no matter what your feelings were.
He's not David Beckham, bro.
He's once in a
Jason
lifetime.
Statham,
What about the whole thing? He's had sex with 10,000 girls or something like that. Have you you heard that?
I don't know much about his kill sheet. What do they call it? Kill streaks.
Yeah, he's just putting the game in. He's putting the game. He's suave. But I'd just be still, wouldn't you be a bit grossed out? When you really think about the numbers he's ran through. There's a few
stories running around about how he likes to get head. Has his legs in the air. Yeah, direct stories from people that are very credible.
People involved. Pretty much. People involved. It's not credible guy gossip that we read on columns or something women that have claimed. You just think there'll be more widespread. I don't know how that kind of secrecy doesn't
I think they sign NDAs, bro, before they go in there.
Man, everything gets out, man. You're talking about 10,000 women.
NDAs?
Like, you can't track down the NDA like information spreadsheet when like 10,000 women, and it could have come from anyone from the past. Like, we're talking about things that could have happened last year, 10 years ago. Like, as if it doesn't get amalgamated into one big gossip leak where it's like, yeah, bro, he's into that weird stuff, you know? He just keeps it clean. I don't know. I reckon it's mafia. I reckon he's got like that publicist mafia, like Johnny Chase with, with what's his name? Is it Jimmy Chase? What's it? Johnny Chase? Drama? What's drama? And what's his brother's name? Vincent Chase.
Yeah,
Vincent Chase. He's got his publicist and he's working magic, you know?
It's a different game when you get to the levels, isn't it? You got like a whole team supporting your public image.
What a rise and fall that would be, you know? You get into the public headline and then, you know, just spiral out. Like, if you spiral even a little bit, you can't afford a publicist. It's like, it's all over, bro. It's all over. Your team's
But you know, what about now social media? You don't think people got like controlling their own image now? Like, you've got social media, you can do your own reels, you can do all sorts of marketing for yourself. Like, is this the age where you market yourself and have a personal brand?
Man, that Kick live streaming stuff, like they make bank. You don't even need that many followers. You can make some great money. All you need is like 15,000 people to watch one video at the same time, or concurrent viewers, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're making bank, man. Bank, dude. And 15,000 isn't that many people. It's just like there's not that many people on the platform.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay,
So, like, how do you get them from YouTube? How do you get them from these platforms over to Kick? That's wild, you know? So, it's amazing. You can't throw dirt on someone who's covered in mud. And these guys are live streaming their lives 24/7. You can't throw dirt on that. Like, there's evidential proof, man. The majority of the time, it's all good. Like, you can't, like, go, yeah, I don't know enough about that guy. It's like, bro, you can watch his whole life if you wanted to. He's literally got it all there for your history. Like, that's something to be said about that, you know?
What do you think about, you know, money to be made on the internet now? Like, where is the opportunity? You know, obviously, is it still crypto, or is it in like, you know, content creation? I think that content creation is how you get to express yourself now, and creating a personal brand is powerful.
All you need is a mass brainwashing drug that you give to the young youth. You get them to subscribe, share, like every single second, because they're all at school and they're trying to slack and they're trying to study after work. You know, that's what you kind of need. But like, if you're saying organically spread, it's a difficult task, but also achievable, I guess, right? You just got to find what the hack is, you know. Yeah. Don't forget, these people that are amassing these populations, they're doing marketing. It's like any business. They're doing marketing strategies, techniques, doing Excel spreadsheets about how to retain viewers and average watchers. What you want here is you want to create like something that's so valuable that it emanates attraction, so that people just like on their own just become infatuated to a cult-like status. The best one, Disaster Artist.
The movie.
That guy literally created a hit that perpetually, it's so good, perpetually feeds his income stream. That guy has made a movie that's a cult classic that literally people continue to go see more than most movies.
You're talking about the real, the James Franco movie, or the actual movie? The
actual movie.
Because it's so cult.
It's so cult. So you're creating like a cult that literally feeds itself for perpetuity, pretty much. Then you achieved it in one stroke, man. You didn't need to, what's the latest trend? Like, you're just genuine to whatever you believe. You do it so consistently that, man, it becomes something and it feeds itself. That's sick.
That's amazing, bro.
Think about how cool that is, you know?
I thought about also buying NFT books, man. Like, I tried to read this book from Neil Strauss.
I like that.
And I was like, I read about it. I was like, I want to read this book. And I realized that he only minted the books on the Ethereum blockchain. It's like one of the first really big releases that way. So you can only read the book if you have the NFT. And the NFT is like, I think it's got one of 892 books. So you've got a collectible, you've got, you know, a digital asset, but it also got content that's only very scarce. It's an amazing idea.
It's like a library, but like there's only a finite amount of books at the library and the whole world wants it. That's pretty cool.
With the whole world. Say it gets popular. Say that book, because it's about, you know, apocalypse, how to survive any apocalypse. It's a really cool idea, like machine uprising. Anyway, I thought, imagine that book out of nowhere starts to become super, like, you know, interesting to people. Then you're one of the NFT holders. So you're only 892 can actually share that at one time.
Yeah.
Access to that content.
Do you know what upsets me now, just hearing that? It's because it is the best idea.
Yeah, it's such a good idea.
It's the best idea. You have a library. There's only a finite amount of books there. The whole world now. This is where I actually get sinister about the world. It's the same thing about the population thing. About it could easily turn where we all become positive. We all push the best solution where it works and everyone loves it and everyone prospers. But you know what? They'll say, because it's on the crypto thing and it's a scam and there's pump and dumps, ridiculous. It's a concept like there's a library with a finite amount, just put it on sale, but you have to put reviews on it, has to be mass mediated. They're strangleholding innovation where they won't advertise it because it's a pump and dump. It's like, no. It's just a book.
It's an investment.
It's a book with a new way to look at it. Yeah. You can review it and publicize it just like any other book. The fact that they have not overtaken traditional, say, libraries with a blockchain library where they go, these are the only books we're going to review en masse to all the digital marketing so that everyone has to go through this. You can have millionaires overnight. You can have people that have become super rich. The authors are going to be more rich than oil companies.
Exactly right,
and they fucking stranglehold innovation because they're pieces of shit. They're actually pieces of shit. The fact that fact that it moves so slow and they don't realize, oh my God, a new technology just came out tonight. Yeah. Everything changes. Everything gets wiped away. A whole new system, a whole new Web 3.0, whatever. But we're not talking about like it gets created and the companies have to like move over or anything like that. No. The people do go, I'm just going to change the technology now. I'm only going to go Web 3.0 and the only books I'm going to buy are ones that are on the blockchain. Yeah. And everyone stops using old traditional books. It's like when the iPhone came out and you had people saying to you, never change the iPhone. You all fucking moved to the iPhone, you dumb cunt. It's connected to the internet at all times, man. The fuck are you talking about? Do you even know what the word Wi-Fi meant? You fucking idiots. We could have done this a lot quicker and easier and you guys are fucking dragging your feet because you're fucking weirdos, man. And like that's what I'm trying to say. The authors themselves could be richer than oil companies, and you guys are fucking like, I don't know that. I'm not going to transfer over my thought and time and attention. And no one assists you to educate you. For rapid change that would save the world. It's like saying the world is going to end. We need to act now. No one's moving with that pace and integrity, and it's just absolutely ridiculous when you compare it to Web 3.0.
Oh, bro, like I'm there with you, man. We've got to be looking at these new technologies, especially blockchain. And I think if you're a content creator, you got to be looking at NFTs, man. If you're an artist and you want to like safeguard the value of your work, NFTs, linking to even physical assets to really like bolster it that way. We've got to be looking in that direction as artists and people who are creating, because no one's watching out for you. You got to watch out for yourself. And I think owning your own economy and owning your own intellectual property, very important.
How do you brainwash everyone to start acting smart together, bro? Like, act smart. We have the internet and somehow we're all divided. It's the most ridiculous concept. We're connected, unify us and make us move and act smartly, bro. We need some assistance here. We're not doing well on our own here. We're literally giving ourselves up to be slaughtered by these guys that are like, I can't believe these guys are still fucking using old technology, these fucking dumb cunts. You could all get together and have a sex orgy. You guys don't even do it. You guys are fucking scum. Like, we've been having sex orgies since Rome and you guys don't even do it. You can do it at any time. You guys are fucking dumb. Yeah? You're out of touch with what the fucking universe wants from you. You fucking losers. We're just fucking like, okay, it's fucking ridiculous, man. Like, but when will we'll snap into it? It's like our kids are going to be watching movies of us and they're going to be like, I can't believe they didn't just fucking like adapt straight away to what we're doing now and survive and thrive. It's just ridiculous.
Slow and steady, bro. Slow and steady.
We're in a fucking desert and it's like, oh man, the human race fell apart. It's like there was such an ingenious like Atlantean level thing. It's like they did, and it's like, why did they fucking fall apart? It's like, well, we're living in it right now while we're not surviving and thriving. It's like, and rising above. So it's fucking.
I love the passion, bro. I love the passion, man. This was a great chat. How did you feel about the evolution of the podcast? How are you feeling about it all?
I enjoy it. It's always a thrill, to be honest with you. You always get deeper into some elements. We're all human, so we'll like, what's the picture of David, with a circle around him, and like, we're all sharing the same kind of experiences and things that are important. And this podcast, you just get into some deep level, like you dig deeper into something probably maybe we've touched on before or something like that, but we just go deeper into it because, that's all. Life is pretty simple. We live in a globe. We live on a circle. It's all contained. It's not like new things are popping off at every second. It's like, what's human? Human desires, what we enjoy. It's all very human, which is cyclical. How about you?
I just love that every week the conversation can start anywhere, go anywhere, and become anything. It's so open, and I think that's the beauty of the kind of information that we like to share. It's not about answers, man. It's just about what the fuck are you perceiving around you in the world? How can I learn from you? How can we share? How can you learn from me? And how can we grow, through conversation? I think this conversation helps me grow. And I think sharing it with people, whether it's 50 people who watch it or 100 million people who watch it, like just sharing it is like so important.
So are you bleak or are you an optimist? What's your value set when you look at the scenario? Because we're talking about like chess pieces on the board, all the data. Are you like optimistic? Where do you think I'm telling you, world's
Okay.
gonna,
Do you want me to tell you that?
world's gonna halve in a few hundred. Where do you get optimism out of that? I'm trying
so
to blanket it with fucking.
This is how I've come to understand it. And I don't know how it all works. This is my understanding. You are literally choosing the version of Earth that you're moving towards. So although all infinite possibilities...
I'm moving to death. I'm moving to barren land.
That's fine. You haven't even had kids yet. So of course you haven't even chosen to invest in the next generation yet, right? Think about that just logically. I think that you get to now, everyone on Earth has the opportunity to choose better for themselves and better for the Earth and better for humanity, but also the whole planet as an ecosystem. We get to choose by the food we eat, the water we drink, the clothes we wear, the content we consume, and we just go on a fucking thought diet as well, throw in some good thinking and get out of these negative patterns. And I think Earth can lift itself, and it is lifting itself, with certain choices amongst certain populations, lift itself out of the darkness into the light, and then we're going to have some Christic level solar, just transformations happening. And it's going to be an internal revolution. I don't think the second coming of Christ, which is prophesied in the Bible, it also overlaps really strongly with Islamic tradition. And I think even Jewish tradition, this end of days narrative. And with Islam, it's Christ does come back to lead an army, right? So there's like a huge parallel.
But it's not a...
Anyway, I'll finish my story. So my story is the internal revolution of making different choices is epigenetic. So you choose differently, you're upgrading your DNA and your code. So you're actually living in a different body, which is a different version of Earth. And then what you're talking about becomes like a bad dream that you no longer dream. You dream a better dream.
Do you think I'm trying to create a fear scenario just to have more sex orgies? I'm like, God, there's all in sex orgy now.
There's hippies that are all light that love orgies as well, man. Go in the hippie direction,
but
bro.
Okay,
Woodstock, 1969.
But they all used to technically, without any data, be saying it, right? They'd be saying like, just have sex orgies, repopulate. But like, bro, we're on an incline of population for fucking such a long time. Like, now's the only time you can actually say it guilt-free. You can be like, guys, we need some sex orgies. 150 years, we're all fucking halving population. It's like the only time cultish,
why would you want
hippie
sex
stuff? I'm just saying, just
no, to report. Like, understand sex orgies to have fun. I get it, to meet people.
Even in a
but
marriage,
to have kids,
even in a
marriage, bro.
But even in a marriage, have a sex orgy with your wife, man. Have a sex orgy, just you and her. It's the fun. I'm saying.
That's an orgy. Orgy means more than one.
I know, but like just the fun of it. Like it's like we're in a sex orgy day and night.
You're just talking about sexual fulfillment, bro. Trust me.
Sexual fulfillment.
You find a partner, you have sexual fulfillment.
I'm making it like you said before. I'm making it some sinister thing. It's like just sex fulfillment. It's a very simple human desire need. So you're talking about just sex fulfillment. It's like sex orgy, Roman.
Oh man, listen, love you, bro. That was awesome.
I love it too, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.